There is a specific kind of invisibility that quiet people know all too well. You walk into a room, and while the loud voices dominate the space, you observe from the edges. You have brilliant ideas, but by the time you work up the courage to speak, the conversation has moved on. You are thoughtful, deliberate, and intentional with your words, but in a world that rewards the loudest voice, you often feel overlooked. Maybe you have been told, you need to speak up more. Maybe you have been passed over for a promotion because someone louder took credit for your idea. Maybe you have been labeled as shy, aloof, or not a team player, simply because you do not fill every silence with noise. And so, you might have started to believe the lie, that respect is earned by talking more, by being louder, by taking up more space. But let me tell you something that will change the way you see yourself forever. The idea that you need to talk more to earn respect is one of the greatest myths of modern culture. The truth? The most respected people in any room are often the quietest. They do not need to shout to be heard. They do not need to dominate the conversation to command attention. They have mastered something far more powerful than volume. They have mastered presence. Today, I am going to show you exactly how to earn deep, lasting respect, even if you talk less than everyone else. I am going to reveal the hidden dynamics of social power that most people never learn. By the end of this message, you will understand that your quietness is not a weakness to overcome, it is a strength to refine. You will learn how to turn your silence into influence, your observation into authority, and your selectivity into charisma. The myth of the loud leader. Let's start by dismantling the myth. Society tells us that leaders are extroverts. They are the ones giving the big speeches, dominating the boardroom, and rallying the troops with passionate monologues. But think about the people you truly respect. Not the people you find entertaining or amusing, the people you actually trust, admire, and look up to. Chances are, they are not the loudest. They are the calmest. They are the ones who speak rarely, but when they do, everyone stops and listens. Why? Because they have built a foundation of respect that is not based on noise, it is based on substance. Respect is not given to the person who talks the most. It is given to the person who adds the most value. And value is not measured in words per minute, it is measured in impact per word. When you talk less, every word you do speak carries more weight. When you are selective with your voice, people lean in. They pay attention. They remember what you said because you did not drown it in a sea of unnecessary commentary. Principle number 1, master the power of presence. The first key to earning respect as a quiet person is to develop unshakable presence. Presence is not about being the center of attention. It is about being fully there, in your body, in the moment, in the room. Most people are not present. They are distracted. They are thinking about what they are going to say next. They are checking their phones. They are living half in their heads and half in the conversation. But you can be the anchor. When someone is speaking, do not just hear them, see them. Make eye contact. Nod when something resonates. Let your body language communicate, I am here. I am listening. You matter. This kind of presence is rare. It makes people feel valued. And when people feel valued by you, they respect you. Here is the secret, you do not need to perform to have presence. You just need to stop performing. Stop trying to be interesting. Stop worrying about what you look like. Stop rehearsing your response while the other person is still talking. Just be. Breathe. Listen. Presence is magnetic. It draws people in. It makes them feel safe. And safety is the foundation of respect. Principle number 2, let your actions speak louder. The second principle is this, consistency in action builds more respect than eloquence in words. People who talk a lot often make grand promises. They say, I'm going to do this, and I believe in that, but their actions do not match their words. They are all talk. But you can be all action. When you say you will do something, you do it. When you make a commitment, you honor it. You do not need to announce your intentions to the world, you just quietly execute. Over time, people notice. They notice that you are reliable. They notice that you do not waste time with empty rhetoric. They notice that your word is your bond. This builds a reputation of integrity. And integrity is the ultimate currency of respect. Think about it this way, a tree does not announce that it is growing. It does not make noise. It simply grows, silently and steadily, and one day, everyone sees the shade it provides. You are the tree. Your actions are your growth. You do not need to narrate the process. Just grow. Principle number 3, speak selectively, speak powerfully. The third principle is about transforming the quality of your communication. It is not about speaking less out of fear, it is about speaking less out of strategic choice. There is a massive difference between someone who is quiet because they are insecure and someone who is quiet because they are discerning. When you speak selectively, you are making a conscious decision. You are filtering. You are asking yourself, does this need to be said? Does it need to be said by me? Does it need to be said right now? Most people fail all 3 tests constantly. They speak because they are uncomfortable with silence. They speak because they want to be noticed. They speak because they have not learned the power of restraint. But you have the ability to hold your tongue until the moment is right. And when that moment comes, you speak with clarity, brevity, and impact. Here is how to do it. 1. Speak only when you have something valuable to add. If someone else has already said it, do not repeat it just to hear your own voice. Silence is agreement. Silence is support. You do not need to echo the room. 2. Use fewer words to say more. Cut the filler. Cut the, and, like, and, you know. Get to the point. Respect people's time. When you are concise, people listen. When you ramble, they tune out. 3. Pause before you speak. Train yourself to count 3 seconds in your head before responding to a question. This pause makes you appear thoughtful. It makes your words feel considered, not reactive. When you follow these rules, something magical happens. People start to wait for your input. They start to value your opinion above the noise. They start to see you as the voice of reason, the still water in the chaos. You become the person they turn to when they need clarity. And that, my friend, is respect. Principle number 4, control your emotional reactions. The fourth principle is about emotional regulation. This is the invisible force that separates respected individuals from those who are merely tolerated. People who talk a lot often do so because they cannot regulate their emotions. Something triggers them, and they explode. They defend, they justify, they over-explain. But the quiet person who has mastered emotional regulation, they are unshakable. When someone criticizes you, you do not rush to defend yourself. You pause. You absorb. You might say, I appreciate your perspective, and leave it at that. You do not need to win every argument. You do not need to have the last word. When someone tries to provoke you, you do not take the bait. You remain calm. You let the storm pass. You show them that their chaos does not control you. This level of composure is intimidating in the best way. It signals that you are in control of yourself. And if you are in control of yourself, people trust you to handle larger responsibilities. Emotional regulation is a form of strength that does not need to announce itself. It simply is. And people feel it. They feel safe around you. They feel that you are the adult in the room. And safety, once again, equals respect. Principle 5, build depth over breadth. The fifth principle is about relationships. While others are collecting hundreds of shallow connections, you can focus on cultivating deep relationships. You do not need to be friends with everyone. You do not need to network constantly. You do not need to be the most popular person in the room. What you need is to be deeply trusted by a few key people. When you talk less, you have more time and energy to invest in the people who matter. You listen to them. You remember the details of their lives. You show up when they need you. These deep relationships become your foundation. These are the people who will vouch for you. These are the people who will say, you need to listen to this person. They do not say much, but when they do, it matters. Depth creates loyalty. Breadth creates noise. Choose depth. The spiritual truth, the power of the observer. Now, let's talk about the deeper, spiritual dimension of why quiet people command respect. In almost every wisdom tradition, Buddhism, Stoicism, Taoism, the enlightened figure is not the one shouting in the marketplace. It is the one sitting in stillness, observing the world with clear eyes. Why? Because observation is power. When you talk less, you see more. You notice the dynamics that others miss. You see who interrupts whom. You see who is performing and who is authentic. You see the alliances, the tensions, the unspoken hierarchies. You become the witness. The seer. The one who understands the game while others are too busy playing it to see the board. This awareness gives you a strategic advantage. You know when to speak and when to stay silent. You know who to trust and who to avoid. You know which battles to fight and which to walk away from. People sense this. They sense that you see things they do not. And this mystery, this quiet knowing, commands respect. You are not louder than the room. You are deeper than the room. And depth always outlasts volume. Real-world examples, the quiet giants. Let me give you some real-world proof. Think about some of the most respected figures in history. Mahatma Gandhi was soft-spoken. He spoke slowly, deliberately, and rarely. Yet he moved millions. Rosa Parks did not give a rousing speech. She quietly refused to move. And that quiet refusal changed a nation. Steve Jobs was known for his long pauses in meetings. He would let silence hang in the air, and people would wait, sometimes for a full minute, for him to speak. These people understood that respect is not given to the person who fills the air with words. It is given to the person who fills the moment with meaning. You are in their lineage. You are the quiet force. Own it. How to start today. So, how do you begin applying this in your life right now? Step 1, stop apologizing for your quietness. The next time someone says, "You're so quiet," do not apologize. Do not explain. Simply smile and say, "I'm listening," or "I prefer to think before I speak." Reframe it. Your quietness is not a flaw, it is a standard. Step 2, practice the 80-20 rule. In your next conversation or meeting, aim to listen 80% of the time and speak only 20%. Use that 20% for high-value contributions, questions, insights, or solutions. Watch how the energy in the room shifts toward you. Step 3, build your reputation through consistency. For the next 30 days, commit to being impeccable with your word. If you say you will do something, do it. No excuses. No overpromising. Let your actions build your credibility silently. The final truth. Here is the final truth I want to leave you with: the world is exhausted by noise. People are drowning in information, opinions, and voices screaming for attention. What the world is starving for is clarity. Calm. Depth. And you, the quiet one, the one who has been told your whole life to speak up, you are the answer. You do not need to change who you are. You need to refine how you show up. You need to stop apologizing for your nature and start leveraging it. Because the future does not belong to the loudest. It belongs to the clearest. And clarity comes from stillness. The final ritual. If this message resonated with your spirit, if you felt a sense of relief knowing that your quiet nature is actually your competitive advantage, then I invite you to make a declaration. Go to the comments below and write these words. My silence is my strength. Let those words be your new identity. Let them be the moment you stop trying to be someone you are not and start becoming the master of who you already are. You do not need to talk more to earn respect. You need to show up more fully, act more consistently, and speak more intentionally. Thank you for your time, your attention, and your beautiful, quiet presence. The world is listening. Not to the noise, but to you. Until next time, stay still. Stay strong. And let your presence do the talking.